This holiday, Verizon's got the craziest deal ever. 4 iPhone 17 Pros, all on them. But no getting it if you're naughty. You just ate.
Don't worry, we know what list you're on.
I'm always watching.
Always watching.
Not always. Boundaries.
For a limited time, get 4 iPhone 17 Pros on us. No trade-in needed. Plus 4 lines for $25 a line.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words, create your brand, your opportunity, your breakthrough. Feeling a vibe? Run with it. From Can't Look Away.
Silent night, holy night, All is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Oh, do I even need to do the traffic? Come on. Do I even need to do it? I don't think so, because we are right up next to Christmas and there ain't no traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west, that looks all right. Let me see if I can fix my microphone a little bit low, isn't it? Here moshki, mara mafa. All right, there you go, a little bit better. Hashki fi holomo hele maranya horoshki fi. All right, there it is. I'm on the radio, and just in about a week, we won't have to worry about that. We'll be just right under the tower, and nothing like a good hot apple cider. Doctor has me in coffee jail for a little while, so I had to text Verley last night, and that was embarrassing to say that I can't have coffee tomorrow, just for a few little whiles, I guess. All right, I got here nice and early just so I could get it all set up, and instead of doing that, I went through the bills and got a couple checks, put those in and that kind of thing. So I'm not entirely there yet, but I am ready now. All right, here we go. All right, 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman I-65. And in terms of the weather, it really is not Christmas kind of weather, man. It's just not at all. Today it's a high of 48, mostly cloudy, just a little bit of a peak of sunshine. And it should be all right. Wednesday, tomorrow, Christmas Eve, mostly cloudy with areas of drizzle late in the afternoon, a high of 47. And then Thursday, low clouds and fogs, and a high of 44 for Christmas. It's kind of a foggy, rainy day. Friday, same thing, but a high of 50. Then by Saturday, get a bright day in the afternoon, and that gets a high in the mid-60s. So how does that feel? I think that's enough stuff to do, right? I'm ready. I think you guys are going to really freak out, because I think we're on YouTube today. As after all these years, I figured out how to get onto YouTube. It's not going to matter anymore. And with us today is Verley Suggs. Verley, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Jim. So tell me, why won't it matter when you go to the old studio? You're still going to be on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we're actually going to have two studios. One is basically me and you, like up until 8. And then we will switch, to a larger studio where somebody, like say Veterans Views comes in, or the School City of Hammond, or Little Cal, I've always wanted it where we didn't have to do this presto changeo between the shows. I mean, sometimes I think they put YouTube on early, and then people see what a kind of a chaotic mess it is when people are coming in and we're trying to get them set up. So we shouldn't have that. We should have two areas. Like you and I will be in the old studio just like we were. You know, me sitting right where I can put my hands on all of the stuff. And then you'll be over here. It's really a two-person studio.
Right, so you don't need a producer. Well, you had the other side. So did you gut the old studio or what?
No, we went through it and moved it around a little bit. I mean, what we want to do is we want to bring it back to life over time.
Did you rodent-proof it?
Yeah, it's we've had the, I forget the name of the rodent-proof guy.
Okay.
And we've gotten... Matt's been over there for a month cleaning it out, and I'm pretty excited. I've always wanted to, give life to it, but we came over here with the idea that we would be part of some sort of venture capital movement in the region, and that has not happened. As a matter of fact, I think Purdue's kind of moved away from it almost. There's two things on campus that are basically outside. One is us, and then one is the Challenger Center, and we're both going. And
so you have to shift.
What?
So you have to shift your picture so it shows more your station and not me.
All right, I'll take it. You know what? I would have never ordered this.
I didn't order that. I brought it from home.
That is unbelievable. You just heated up apple cider.
Yes.
I
said he can't have coffee, no decaf, because that's fake coffee. I said, what about a hot apple cider this morning? Because I was thinking about tea. I said, well, let's just see if he likes apple cider.
And I'm going for a little thingy today, so I'm going to have a little swig of that. But after...
so you're supposed to have...
clear liquids after 9.
Oh, after 9. Okay,
yeah,
so you're good.
So I'm close. I'm good till then, but
okay.
I don't want to screw up the test. So
right.
Hey, are you ready for this holiday? I know I caught you while you were drinking out of
my hot apple cider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for the holiday. Of course. So I don't even when you were talking about the weather doesn't seem like Christmas, but if you're in California, the weather's warm for Christmas, so we've had some mild Christmases. I don't need snow to know it's Christmas. Jesus was born in almost a desert, so it wasn't like he was born in the Alps. So Christmas doesn't have to have snow to make it feel like Christmas.
Bob Starkey did a show that I have never done yesterday. And I had people sending me, wow, that was really cool. That guy actually planned his show out, and he had a theme, and he had all decorated here. And
sort of like Phil Potemkin did.
Yeah, and he made, I don't know if he made her, but even Lynette wore a Christmas sweater. And so Starkey and Lynette talked they had it scripted down to the minute. Micah Beckwith called in and 3 or 4 other people. And I was like, is that what a show's supposed to be like?
Perfect. It probably drives, if he's so scripted like that, it probably drives him crazy to do the show with Chuck.
Oh, Chuck's kind of like me. There's not a lot of, written down plan to the whole thing.
Right. Phil Potemkin does that. He has a scripted show also.
Oh, God, he sure does.
Yes.
The script we have now is that we are supposed to go about, when I finish weather and traffic and all that, we're supposed to go to about 20 to 22 minutes so that they could go in and they could cut it, and then we could play it later. Now, we can't do that right now because we're going to do Christmas music all the way. That's the tradition. Brian Cummings and Joel gave me some Christmas music, and I said, hey, we need to play Christmas music for 2 weeks so that on a Christmas morning you might put it on, and that's what we've always done. And I'm okay with that. But the the whole idea is that you do the morning show and then you do all these podcasts and then you play them the rest of the day. That's the system that I'm trying to work out. And then I'm trying to institute an afternoon show. And at the same time, and Paul Goddard's probably listening, that I want to get news put in between these 20-minute segments. It's a pretty simple
be your
system.
News person.
Well,
your news
I mean,
excerpts would come from him.
Well, here's my thing: is that we're not communicating, we're not competing with each other here in the region. We're really not. I mean, that's old. That's old. WJOB and the Post and the Times used to be the news competitors when I worked here, and then now it's like Great News Life, and there's some other like just internet-based things. Along Goddard is certainly the biggest one, and then but he's kind of a niche on breaking news and kind of murders and SWAT team and weather and that kind of stuff. Great News Life does a great job, and they're
everywhere.
They're everywhere, and I think that's the model, okay. But I think that in terms of news, to gather it all, it needs to be gathered. These guys aren't competing with each other, and the Times doesn't have breaking news people. They just have, Dan Carden and Joe Pete and a couple other people writing the news about policy and that kind of thing. So how do you bring it all together so that you can compete not against each other, but against Chicago? Because that's really what we're competing against, if that makes any sense. Do you agree with that?
Well,
I need to get my ears back here, but talk for a second.
So
if you will.
I would definitely say that we can't compete with Chicago at all. Even newspaper-wise, if you look at the Chicago Tribune, they do breaking news, and their feeds, their news releases come constantly because they do morning editions, they do evening editions online. And so they do have the staff and the wherewithal to provide all that breaking news. Then, of course, you have all the local news stations that are providing breaking news. So I don't think that we'll ever be in a position where we're competing fully with Chicago.
I agree with that, but the game is changing in this way, that the AI capabilities are changing all of that.
Was that AI that I was listening to when they were giving a weather report from the past weekend?
I don't know how that.
I mean,
they're learning how to use AI, and they somehow coded that incorrectly. But we're going to have problems like that. But you don't realize how much AI is already involved in this, and I'm not afraid of it. But my point is that I think that using it at the local level will make it so much easier to be local.
I disagree, but just like the glitch that just happened now, if I'm tuning in trying to hear the weather to get ready for work and I'm hearing weather from this past Saturday instead of this upcoming Saturday, then...
Yeah, and we're going to talk to Adriana about that because she was supposed to have done that. But those glitches are going to happen. But the whole idea is that if you take the technology that other people have developed and you're not afraid of it and you bring it to the local level, then you can make your media local. That's what we did with the TV. Other people developed this streaming technology and we applied it to the local level, and now we have 25 schools where we're able to put all their athletes on TV.
That's fantastic.
When they probably wouldn't be, at least not in that volume, most of them wouldn't get on at all, and then there wouldn't be a vehicle for the local businesses to advertise next to those athletes, and that's just growing all the time. But it took us kind of being here at Purdue to learn from guys like Mont and all of this venture capital verve that they were going to build that never happened or isn't happening. And we were able to apply the technology that others had built.
So you have to think about why it didn't happen, because that was one of the things you kept saying. Silicon Valley was going to be here on Indianapolis
Silicon Boulevard.
Boulevard. Well, I was going to say on Indianapolis Boulevard, and I never felt that it would happen. So what do you think were the reasons why it didn't happen?
Well, I think that there's one real positive out of it. Like, we were exposed to all of this venture capital and innovation, and I went to a boot camp. I went to Pittsburgh. I went to Berkeley. I went to Pittsburgh, and they said, this is how you got to do this. And then they'd have a 1 million cups in here. We have the digital marketing competition. We have the big sell in here. We had Nassim. She got, I think, $650,000 out of the state, and then a bunch of money out of VCs. She was over here telling us, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. So we got really positive exposure about what we could do. We just thought we were just a little radio broadcasting sports thing. And then we said, all right, well, the state gave us money and the feds gave us money for COVID. And we're like, what are we going to do? So I said, listen, I have always wanted to build a TV station here. So we built it at a really low cost. That would cost so much more money to build now. But we got it right at the beginning of COVID. We did it right away. I said, listen, let's just spend it right now so that we could build this thing. And we would go to people to develop it, and it would be 10 times or 20 times more to do that now because they didn't have any work. So we did that for a little while, and we thought it was going to be like news and talk and entertainment. Remember, we had all these bands coming in here and all that. That didn't, people, you're right. People go to Chicago for that. Okay, they go to Chicago for news. They go to Chicago for talk. They go to Chicago for entertainment on TV and radio. Well, not so much radio all, but so they do that. But then we just started putting some of the games on, and we realized that it was just an explosive amount of appetite for it. So we started moving into that a little bit more and a little bit more. And now you have the Heartland Sports Network. And we basically kicked all the news and the talk and everything off of it. It's its own company, and it's growing leaps and bounds. So that was all made possible by being here and getting exposed to the technology and to the people that I could hire very cheaply to do it. It's where are you going to get somebody that knows how to code or that knows how to apply technology? And that's what happened. So it's been a very successful thing, but the radio is really just is kind of what it does. And just like going over and seeing Marion, it looks like an old time radio station. I want that look. I never really liked this look for old time radio. And we'll have it in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense.
So in terms of the radio, I don't think it really. It's been 102 years, right? What are you going to do to change it? Not much, right?
And it doesn't need much change.
It doesn't need any.
That's what I always felt.
But now you disagree with this, and even I disagree with this. But we brought in Adriana, Lynette, Joe, and Matt.
What do I disagree with?
Well, the
podcast.
All right, I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly. And then we'll finish this segment.
Okay.
We'll just have
And I just have to say how disappointing it is to not walk in here and see a tray of Cousin Phyllis's cookies.
I don't know what
I
happened.
saw Hassey Construction sent you candy, but the cookies are missing.
Well, maybe that's her waiting, but we'll see here in a second. So we basically took WJOB radio and started a TV station off of it, and we thought it was going to be one thing, and then it became another. All right? So it became a sports station. Well, these students, they all work in here, and I'm like, all right. And they're like, hey, listen, Jed, we could take WJOB and we could make a video and audio podcast network out of it. And we could rotate and basically do the same thing that you did with the TV station. And I'm like, listen, that was so much work. That was 5 years. I mean, it's been 5 long years. We're finally to the point where it kind of works. I go, I don't want to do that again. They go, no, listen, we could do that and we'll do it. And so they're doing it. And I got to tell you, the podcasting is going somewhere. The only piece missing is you.
Sorry. There are far more talented people out there, yes.
Are we done with that? But
we're
please,
done with that.
Please don't be afraid of the technology, all right?
Not afraid of any technology.
Well, I mean, what happens...
Lack of interest does not mean fear. I don't really have much fear of anything.
What are you afraid of?
I really don't know.
Are you afraid of nuclear war? Are you afraid of
No.
societal breakdown?
I'm not afraid of anything that I have no control over. I'm really not I can't really think what I'm afraid of. I don't think I'm afraid of anything. I just don't have fear.
Well, I mean,
they say what? If you believe in God, then you shouldn't have fear. You should have trust.
Trust in God doesn't mean that you don't fear for your family and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
I
you're
don't live with fear.
You're a unique bird.
I just wake up every day and say it's gonna be a great day, and I just have control over that. You know, I can't control the next guy. I can just control me.
All right, let me rephrase the question. Do you have anger?
I have disappointment. Anger. There's times I guess I can get angry at things. I can get angry at some of the foolish things I see happening in the country. I can get anger at the president and what he's doing. But I don't know that I really look at it as anger. I just shake my head and say he is who I knew he was. And I'm not even angry at the people who follow him no matter what. I don't know. I get angry if people put you down. I get angry if
you too, and you have defended me in some pretty surprising situations.
So yeah, I said I guess I could probably be angry if somebody does something against my family or people I care about. Yeah, or says something against them. But
how about this?
What?
Well, let's take a couple phone calls, and then I got something that I wonder if it's going to make you angry.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you are on the air. How are you?
I am fine. This is your desert reporter calling in from the far west side to let you know that, you know what? Life is short. You can't be angry about anything. You can't control anybody but yourself.
See?
And you know what? Every day that you wake up, you should say to yourself, you know what? I do this. I work in a hospital. Every day I get up and I say to myself, you know what? I get another day to make somebody smile.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Exactly.
So,
and even in the desert, you still celebrate Christmas.
Oh, yes, we do. And I got to remember this, Verdi. I am only 2 hours away from heavy snow. I'm up in I can go to Flagstaff in 2.5 hours and have snow early in the morning and to get back down and go swimming. So, yeah, we can look Christmas. We get some Christmas down here. It's not bad, but we can get away from that cold weather when we want. We're in control of our environment here at some time, so that's a pretty good thing to be happy about.
Most definitely. I share your happiness.
What do you do on Christmas? I mean, do you go for a run in shorts?
Oh, are you ready? We are all going golfing in my neighborhood at the course of my backyard. And the reason being is it's closed, so you don't have to pay to golf on it because nobody's going to throw you off there. Normally, it's $200 a round, so that's going to be my Christmas gift from my HOA to myself and my neighbors.
So just to get this structure straight, you live on a $200 a round golf course that you can't play.
You know what? I could play, Jeb, but why would I pay $200?
That's my point. Is that you got to pay $200? I mean, that's steep.
That's insane. It says, my wife and I, we joined a smaller place for 1,800 unlimited golf play, and it's a 18-hole executive golf course. And you walk it when you're getting exercise. The nice thing, you shoot good or you shoot bad, guess what? You're done golfing in 2 hours. That's great. You're not wasting the whole day golfing. There's a lot of things I like to do. I want to go for a run. I want to go for a hike. I want to enjoy the outdoors. I don't want to be on the golf course all the time. And the other thing that scares me, Jed, you're gonna laugh about this. Dude, them pesticides on them golf courses, I am always washing my hands as soon as I get off the golf course.
Wow.
That's the scary part. And you know what, Verdi, I have to compliment you. You and I are on completely different sides, but you know what? You said it exactly right. We can't control what other people think. We can have disappointments. We can disagree. But you know what? I respect you for that. I got to say that I love everything about you.
Oh,
You say it the way it is. You're like me. I say it the way it is. And you know what? And the world would be such a boring place if we always agreed on the same thing.
Exactly.
That would be very boring. We have to have differences. Differences make the world go around. But it's all about, and this is the time of year, it's about, take care of your neighbors, take care of your friends, take care of people, and that's what it's all about. I miss the days when we would, just look out for our neighbors, shovel their sidewalks, mow the yard, and I thought that was a better world. And when you get on the subject of AI, sometimes we're losing that eye-to-eye contact with people with AI, and eventually, I see that at the hospital. Absolutely, and there's like robotic surgeries that are happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's self check-ins when you come into the hospital. We are slowly weaning ourselves away from humanity. I think AI is good in some sense, but here's the flip side of that. Pretty soon, if you can't get along with your fellow mankind, you can order an AI best friend to do anything you want you to do. And I think eventually... And
you're right. You are correct.
And that can go both ways and not to be like, when you look at marriages that fail and marriages are good, I watched a program the other day. It was very interesting. It said the number one highest rating in divorces are in the lesbian culture. The second highest one is rather heterosexual. They say the longest lasting marriages are the gay guy marriages. And they said, you know why? And I go, no. And I was listening. He goes, there's not a woman involved. And I said, well, that's that's not quite the right way to split things. But there you go. You can order yourself an AI mate and maybe live in a perfect world. But I think eventually the whole world's going to be AI, and we're going to wipe out mankind if we keep it up that way.
Something to think about.
I agree with you on the ultimate dangers of it, like saying, well, we don't really need people, right?
Right, absolutely. And that's the scary part. We always need people. We need that human touch, no matter what,
I used to be thinking that if something was going to exterminate us, it was going to be nuclear war. I think that it's much more probable that AI, if left unchecked, would be much more dangerous to our species. What do you think?
iRobot.
Yes.
Oh, I think so too, Jed. You got to look at it this way. Look at already what happened in Ukraine. They have these little drones that can go in these little foxholes. They can find these people that they want to annihilate, and it's really easy to do. Could you imagine if AI gets into the wrong hands and it starts annihilating human beings because you can't hide from where you're going to hide? It will definitely find you. It's a pretty scary thought. Don't worry about nuclear. Don't worry about arms. Worry about AI-controlled soldiers against the humanity.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thanks for something to think about.
I'll give you, I'm always about food for thought. I'm going to throw something out. It's just little food for thought at times. That's basically it.
Hey, man, Merry Christmas out there on the West Coast, or not on the coast, but in the West, and enjoy your round of golf at 8:30 on Christmas morning.
You got it, guys, and Merry Christmas. Keep up the good work.
Take care. Thanks for calling.
Take care. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good morning.
It was so good to
morning.
see you the other day.
Yes, it was. It was. And thank you for coming back to offer a drink. You don't have to do that.
Oh, you would have ripped me up if I didn't.
I would not have. I would have. Actually, I only ordered you a drink to see if you would drink it.
Well, I'm sitting there at the bar talking to a couple of people, and so the server comes up and says, "Those 4 women at the table would like to buy you a drink."
Ooh.
And I turn around and I'm like, okay, but I'm eating my potato skins at Bridges, and then I've got to leave. I got to go put my grandson to bed. Otherwise, I would have. And then I'm walking out, and then I realize I need to go offer to buy that whole table a drink. Now, of course, I had seen that they had just got one, so
you knew.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was good to see you, man. You're always bring sunshine.
Well, that's good. That's good. I just want to wish you both a very Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. We just spent the weekend out in Fortville, Burley.
Oh, really?
My daughter lives there.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, so it was real nice, going through the town and, just seeing different things. It's always good to get out of the area just to see what's in the area.
Exactly.
If you know
Where again?
Fortville. It's in Indy.
It's near Fisher. I have my children, 2 of my
They
children
live in
out there.
Fortville?
Yeah.
I have
Like
never
Fisher.
heard of Fortville, and I've been in
Oh, it is
Indiana
a
all these years.
growing town.
Yes.
What is
Every
it?
time we go down.
It's right at
Is that
Fisher, so it's
Fort?
like Fisher.
Is that where the fort is?
No, it's just called Fortville.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think there's a fort there. Is
No, I don't think
I didn't see a
so.
fort there.
Hey, what do you do on Christmas?
Well, our Christmas isn't all that because I lost my parents. My daughter lives in Indy, and then the other one lives in Arizona.
Speaking
My
of which,
sisters
we
and
just
brothers.
talked about.
Yeah, my sisters and brothers are here, but they still have, family that they go to. We just chill out and go to my brother-in-law's and then come back home.
You want to know something? This is the first Christmas where that is how ours is going to be. And Alexis and I are all in with these kids. Well, they're in Long Island, which is getting a massive storm today, by the way. Yes.
Yeah.
And then my stepson, Steve, he works out here at BP, and he's working through the holidays. So and then my daughter's going to come over, so it's going to be like 4 people and we already had the family Christmas party of my dad and all that stuff. So the actual Christmas is kind of chilled out. Alexis and I are thinking of going up to the city on Christmas Day because it's so dead. And
It's going to be dead there, too.
yes,
Well, that's what you want.
which is what you want in the city, but not at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. No, there used to be, when Mom and Dad were here, and with all of the kids, because there's 9 of us, and we didn't have under 40 people. And that was family only. Mm-hmm. But now everyone's, my brothers and sisters are in different parts of the state, and those here, they have family. So we don't mind it, actually.
I'm looking forward to a relaxing moment.
Yes. Yep. And so that, it's not bad, but it's almost getting sadder every year, because it seems like so many have passed that used to be here. And just thinking of how it used to be, it's sad to me.
Oh.
Yeah, there is a sadness that goes with that because, near the end of the year, you always look back and you're like, this is rough right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because even tamales, we always did tamales. We can't, it's just so different to do it now. The fun's gone. Having all my aunts there, and it's just not what it used to be. And that's sad.
And my sister asked me yesterday, she came in from Michigan and picked my mom up to take her back with her. And she's like, you want me to stop in Lake Station and grab you some tamales on the way from home? I'm like, that's okay. I miss when the ladies with St. Monica Luke would make them. I can get them nice and fresh right from them.
So where do you get, there's a good place in Lake Station?
Right on Central. Right past.
Oh, yeah,
right past
a lot
Ripley.
of restaurants.
Yeah.
Where do you get yours?
Where do we make ours. We don't usually buy them.
Okay. Because Alexis and I go down, well, probably not this year. We already had the party because the kids were leaving. But we usually go here to EC, right? Kind of not too far from St. Stan's.
Right. I used to go
Oh,
there.
La Chiquita.
Yeah.
Are they still making them in the back room there? I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I have to go there.
Oh, yeah. Usually that's where
They
that's
make
where
really
our
good ones
go-to
there.
is.
I like theirs.
Yeah. And those
I
are
also
kind
want to
of.
give out. Go on.
I mean, there's huge lines. I mean,
Oh,
people
always.
go in there and buy like 10 dozen, and they just
Yeah.
carry them out to your
It's
trunk.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
A lot of people celebrate.
Yeah. That's what it's about. But I want to give a shout out to Jackie. She was also the one that was sitting next to me that just, here's your show every day as well.
Jackie.
Jackie, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know what 6-7 is?
No.
Nobody does. But it's a phrase that everybody's using. It's just 6-7. It means absolutely nothing. You go up to a person, you say 6-7, and you watch how many people will react to that.
Wow.
I never knew it till that night. And then I went to my grandson, and I said 6-7, and oh my God! I mean, everybody just went nuts.
What does it mean?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's internet slang signifying in-group identity or nonsense.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
so there's a new one for you.
Hey, way to go. I learned something when I talked to you. All right, man. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Hey, Jen,
Take
I want to compliment you on the music you're playing as well. Instead of rerun shows.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We'll be playing that all the way through the holidays. That was requested by a number of people. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's
all
good.
right.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too because you know what you're going to get when you turn it on. It's music, a little bit of news,
Right.
old weather,
Right.
and then, then
And it's
some more
not hearing
music.
the show over and over, but good job.
All right, thank you. Talk to you.
All right, have a-
guys, I got to play some spots. Stay where you're at on the line. We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep
Save the
in
lives of children like
heavenly peace, sleeping. everybody. AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, broadcasting from the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest for one more week. And then we are moving back the radio portion of what we do back to the studios underneath the big tower by Smith Chevrolet. The sports company, that may be moving somewhere else. But we're going to go back there and do what we do in our very familiar confines. We've been putting together not one but two studios, one for basically the morning show, and then all the other shows will be out in a larger area so they can bring more people, be up to 6 spots for guests. It's been a problem several times, many times, hundreds of times here while we were here, not having enough spots for all of the people that they may come in and buy a show. If you want to be part of the Community Programming Initiative, now's a good time. All you got to do is get a hold of Adriana with 2 N's at WJOB1230.com. And in terms of traffic, there isn't really any. 294, there isn't any. It's nothing. It's just December 23rd. It's very little. Nobody's going to school. And a lot of people are already home for the holidays and not going to work. So you could drive wherever you want right now. There is no backups. In terms of the weather, right now it's 38 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. Goes up to 48, mostly cloudy. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy with areas of drizzle in the late afternoon and a high of 47. And then by Thursday, low clouds and fog. That's Christmas, will be a high of 44 degrees. Then by Saturday, clouds followed by a brightening sky. It should be in the mid-50s. Then it cools off considerably. Verley Suggs is here. Verley, let's take a couple more phone calls and clear it out. We got plenty of things we got to get to. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Oh, Jed, I got to talk to you. I'm telling you right now, I've seen Jordan play more times than I could ever tell you. I've walked golf courses with Tiger Woods. I've been to World Series games. Nothing can compare to what I experienced at Soldier Field Saturday night. I'm telling you right now, is the most bonkers thing I've ever been to, and I've been to the big ones. But Saturday night topped it all.
All right, so there's 5 minutes left. The Bears are down by 10. What are you thinking? Should we leave, or what were you thinking? Because some people did leave.
Oh, no. Not a soul left that place. Nobody left. Nobody
took a shower.
Well, you left your TV, but nobody left that stadium. I'll tell you that right now.
The wife was watching. I was so angry. I go, we're going to lose to the Packers again. So I got in the shower and got out, and it was just mayhem.
I've never experienced mayhem like I experienced Saturday night. It was the most electric place I've ever been to.
I agree, but can I add a caveat to this?
What?
The Chicago Bears are conducting preliminary testing on a potential stadium site in Hammond that borders the city of Chicago and lies in the shadow of the Midwest's largest refinery. As the Bears were winning a thrilling victory, walk-off victory against the Packers, trucks and drilling equipment were at Wolf Lake in North Hammond to scout out a potential replacement for Soldier Field. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? Do you honestly think that the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago are going to let that team go somewhere? Come on. I think we're seeing some theatrics there.
So there's two ways to look at this. One is we're just leverage again like we were in the 1990s. Many of us will remember that. Or it's the world has changed and we are a force to be contended with, and there's a real possibility. You're solidly in the first part where we are leverage once again.
No. I got it interesting. I learned a couple things though at the Bears game. I sat in the suite two suites down from the McCaskies. Do you know what number suite the McCaskey suite is?
1.
Nope, 1920 for when the Chicago Bears became a football team. Their number is 1920. Pretty cool.
Hey, I don't know, man. It just seems kind of odd, doesn't it? I mean, that they're doing this and that they did it during the game. I mean, what's really going on? I mean, are we just chum in the water again?
No, they're just, like I said, the state of Illinois and cities, they will fold. They're not going to let that team go. No, you're seeing a bunch of theatrics right now, is what you're seeing.
All right. Well,
that's all there is to it. Do you really think they're going to pop a stadium up in Northwest Indiana?
Hey,
After
man,
they just
I
bought
don't
all
know.
that.
I don't know. I mean, it all comes down to money, right?
And they just bought all that property in Arlington Heights.
And evidently it's worth more than they bought it for.
Yeah, they will get a deal. Either Arlington Heights or Chicago will do something, but come on, it's not coming Northwest Indiana. That's crazy.
All right, let's leave it right there. I agree with you. With the Bears and IU football, it could not be a better time to be a football fan.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Enjoy it.
It is. It's just awesome. I don't even want to talk about the IU game until next Tuesday when I'm here. All right?
Yep. Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas. Verly, your thoughts on this stadium?
Do we have more callers?
Just go ahead.
I'll wait a minute.
All right. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Bah humbug.
Why?
The Christmas show, the MX Christmas show with Tom Dapperton, had the most views ever on YouTube, more than any of your hosts. And you took down your Christmas present that we put in the window. Didn't you like it?
What are you talking about?
You didn't like your Christmas present?
Are you talking about this? The Northern
I'm
Show,
talking about
Trump
the MX Christmas show with Tom Dapperton.
Wait a second.
The
Are you
MX
talking about what you gave me, another show, Trump is bad? This one? With
Why did you take that out of the window?
I just showed up. I never saw it. It's right here. I'll show it on YouTube, though. I'm showing it right now. I don't have any problem with you making fun of me. If I got my feelings hurt by you, I better just get out of the business.
Well, you should put it in the window once in a while to remind you that, I know you always get on about me talking about somebody, but I got what I wanted. But sometimes I think in the morning you wake up, Trump is bad. So that's why you got that, I think. And then it was put in the window and somebody took it out. I figured you didn't like your Christmas present. You got one more, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, this one I'm not going to show because I don't know if that's...
No, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, don't show that one.
Hey,
I
want to thank you, and it's a group effort, and I want to thank you and Dabberton. Starkey did a really good job yesterday. Everybody, there's a lot of people that put in a lot of effort. You guys put a decent amount of effort into that show, and I appreciate it, man.
Well, MX, I just have one question.
Yes.
I have my gown. Where are my tickets?
You know what? As soon as it gets there and it's up, I'm going to get you the tickets.
So that might never happen?
What am I missing here?
Well, that's my Christmas present was tickets to the first ball at the new ballroom at the White House.
Did you see how big that is now? It was supposed to be a certain amount, and it was supposed to be like 200 million. Then they changed it to 300 million. Now it's like over 400 million. It sounds like the train. MX.
I know, but I don't hear as many people complaining about the ballroom
Yes,
as they did about the
it's
train.
a private investment. Bezos got $400 million. He probably tipped somebody. Bezos, Google, Amazon. I can't tell you how many people gave to build this ballroom.
Well, you can't you can't tell me because Blumenthal, the senator, is asking for the donor list and how much each person gave and what their relationship is to getting stuff out of the
Influence
administration.
peddling.
Influence peddling.
I
mean, it.
Wait a minute, I got the donor list right here. I think, or did I deleted it? I might have deleted it because I got so much stuff here on...
what they're saying is that you had your choice to give the money and be anonymous, or you had a choice to put your name out there, and some people chose anonymous, so you don't know who it is, and then it hasn't been released what the amount is, and quite frankly, it's a kind of a growing story on if it is considered influence peddling. But, I don't know. You got to believe Trump's still going to build a decent ballroom, don't you think? For $400-500 million?
Yes, and that's pocket change for the people. I got that on the Christmas flash drive because I save everything. And then there were so many donors. And that's private investment. They're not going out like to train, Burley, like you said. That is public investment in rating taxes, so I get a wheel tax and everything. But we're going to get you in there somehow, this ballroom with the 2 free tickets. Who would you want to take?
My husband, of course.
Well, I thought maybe Michelle Quinn.
All right, man. Hey, Merry Christmas, MX.
I couldn't make fun of her.
Yeah, go ahead.
She's still, kind of green, and I didn't want to make fun of her. She wears her heart on her sleeves, but just to remember, we got the most views out of any show ever.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right.
Talk to you. Hey, let's go right into this, Verley. Are the Bears coming to Northwest Indiana?
Possibly. Now ask the second question.
They're coming to Hammond, I heard.
Possibly not.
Well, I mean, we both know a lot of stuff, what is really going on here, but it is so odd that they were doing this in Hammond right as the game was going on.
Who is doing it in Hammond?
Workers placed green and yellow flags to identify where buried water and gas lines were located south of Wolf Lake Memorial Park. Okay? Now, the reason I laugh at this is that when I was a laborer, I was a site person, like I did mostly storm sewers. And I have done that all over the Calumet region. And I did a little project right by south of Wolf Lake Park. And I remember that at points we had to dig by hand because there were so many pipelines and we couldn't use the backhoe to just rip out the dirt because they had all these drawings and they're saying, oh, there should be a pipeline here, there should be a pipeline here, there should be an electrical line there, there should be a natural gas line here, there should be back to oil. You know what I mean? It was like a maze underneath the ground. And I'm like laughing about this because they're trying to map it all out. I'm like, you don't map that out. What you do is you take a backhoe and you go, you grab a bunch of dirt, and all of a sudden a massive pipeline bursts that's going into BP or coming out that they are not really sure where it is. It's like that all over the region. I mean,
you have to dial before you dig. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you dial.
Every person that builds has to dial before you dig. You put a fence in, you have to dial before you dig. You put in a new driveway, dial before you dig. So everyone knows that. But I want to know where it was said who exactly was digging. Did the truck say Chicago Bears? Or what did they say?
All right, so hold on a second.
Okay.
I never thought about that. I thought the Bears sent them.
And did the Bears tell you they sent them?
Hold on a second. Let me see what did they say in the Times. All right. The Chicago Bears are conducting preliminary testing.
And is that a statement from the Chicago Bears?
That's a statement from Joe Pete in the Times. The Chicago Bears are conducting preliminary testing.
And who told him that? Latitude, or where did he get that information from?
Let's see. A source close to the project said the Bears were looking at a potential site.
Who's the source?
Wait a second. Are you suggesting that it wasn't possibly the Bears?
I'm just saying.
All right. Aaron McDermott with Crown Point-based Latitude Commercial said the potential site had some basic parameters, and the Bears were limited to where they could look at stadium sites in Northwest Indiana. All right. So now I get what you're saying, okay? I don't see. Well, let me. Does anybody know who was digging? Who was digging? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. In a news article, it's usually who, what, where, when, and why. All I got is the Bears. Chicago Bears are conducting preliminary testing. Is that right? It's crickets. Anybody?
Oh, your sources out there.
No, I'm literally. Bears do their homework on Hammond site. It got all over the internet. The Chicago Bears are conducting preliminary testing. The
Same
Chicago
story
Bears,
that was in the Times.
Bears. Oh, here it is in the Times. All right. Bears send trucks to drill test potential site in Hammond. So, is this a, you know what? I'm going to call them today.
Yeah, do that.
And I'll call the mayor too and see who conducted that. Because if it was not the Bears, then who would it be? And if it wasn't the city, if the city was doing that, I would understand that, because then this was excellent use of media and showmanship, right? Because now it is being reported all over on the Bears are conducting preliminary sites on sportsmockery.com. That's kind of a big one. Arlington Heights,
What's the term
Odyssey, Fox Sports.
Where did they pick it up from? They picked the story up from the Times, right?
Yeah, the Chicago Bears are conducting. Does anybody want to call in on this? Anybody? I'm serious. Somebody call in and tell me who. I wasn't even laughing about that, because there's a lot of places in the region. Like, I remember when they did a project by the community hospital, and they were ripping up Fisher and Calumet. And I went over and I talked. I'm riding my bike, and I go over and I talk to the project engineer, and I'm like, hey, man, there's a lot of stuff going across the road there. He goes, I know. And a lot of it's not even marked. And we snipped an old electric line, and we didn't know if it was live. And that's what happens in the region when you're digging in places that are old. Another one, at the corner of Manor and Ridge, I worked on that. I go, hey, how deep is the tunnel? I go, and the project manager, I rode my bike over there, and he goes, what tunnel? And I go, listen, in 1982, I worked under Ridge Road, and I was there. They brought in tunnelers, and there's a tunnel that goes and carries stormwater all the way down Manor, and it's like 15 feet deep, and they had to hire tunnelers from Mississippi. And the guy brings out the plans, and he goes, there's no tunnel on here.
Wow.
And I'm like, what is wrong, man? Where do these, I mean, you don't realize how much stuff is in the ground. But anyways, hey, you called in. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I got a little bit of history with this topic.
Talk to me.
In 1995, we got John Aguilera elected. He was the president of Lake County Council, and the Bears used Gary and I forget what they called it, Planet Park or something, as a straw purchaser, which it was at that point. This is not the same scenario, and I can tell you what has changed. One, Chicago does not have any money to give to the Bears. nor does the state of Illinois. Number two, we did not have a 19-member commission that was set up by my classmate and customer, Senator Earl Harris, to bring professional teams to Northwest Indiana. Three, we have the land, and the mayor is working in conjunction with Governor Braun, which is a little bit unique since they just got in a pissing match about a month ago. But they're both doing everything they possibly can to make this happen. And I think that this is it's not a pie in the sky, which it was in 95. My understanding is that they're only interested in one site, that's Hammond. And what pissed off President Warren, or general manager, or whatever he is, president of the Bears, is that in 2026, the state of Illinois has their agenda. They don't even have the Bears as part of their agenda. So they want to move, and I don't know if you just heard what happened overnight. Kansas City just announced that they have accepted a deal to build their new stadium in Kansas, not in Missouri. So this is nothing new, as both the Giants and Jets play in New Jersey. And so I think that this could happen. Do I think it's a long shot? It's probably still a long shot. But there is a scenario where this happens because we have a mechanism in place. The other thing that we have that we didn't have, and one of the things they wanted in 95, which the Lake County Council was not able to get passed, was a Lake County option income tax, which they have, and Hammond has a food and beverage tax. So they have the infrastructure to make this happen. I'm not saying it's going to, because this is big, big boy stuff. But this could happen.
I agree with you. I agree. Maloney came in on Friday and said, when I first heard it, there was I thought zero chance. And then talking to some people and looking at it and so forth, and then he puts it at a 25% chance. I think that's fairly accurate. I mean,
we were talking to the mayor. We were talking to the mayor the night before at the Visitors and Convention Authority party. I don't go to too many of those anymore, but I like that group, so I went over there, and it was the topic du jour, of course. And as I was getting ready to go, I was watching Channel 7 News, and the lead story was Phil Talon talking about it. So we were obviously talking about it. The mayor, of course, was very excited about it and was talking to everyone. He actually was the first person standing in front of the door when you walked in, and he said that he has spoken with the governor's people, and they're doing everything they can from the Hammond, because they own all that land, and the state is doing everything they can. The governor probably wants something like this to happen. The governor is completely underwater, by the way, and that's even by Republican standards. So I think that they're going to do everything they possibly can. Now, I'm opposed to bending over backwards. This is the Democratic side of me. We bitch and moan when we give people food stamps, but we're ready to jump in and give land and everything else to billionaires to build their infrastructure and to build their stadiums. I find that offensive, to be honest with you. But that all started in 1955 when the Brooklyn Dodgers left Brooklyn, and ever since then, every community that can try to make a play for a franchise is doing it and willing to give everything else up. And then we can't take care of health care for people, and we can't take care of the basics in this country, but we most certainly are willing to jump in front of a car to give billionaires everything they want. And it just came out last week that in Forbes, the Bears are the 10th wealthiest franchise in all of American sports. So just think about that for a second. We're willing to build them and give them everything they want, but we're unwilling to give people the basics of food, shelter, and health care in this country.
Do you want to identify yourself?
Sure. I'm Dave Kuziak, born 11/3/68, 5'11". At this particular point, about 225, should be about 205. But I have a little experience in this topic, and I find it interesting, and I think it's something that could happen. Also, it's going to be interesting to see if they have the people to build it. Minchek was there, the president of the AFL-CIO. So this is interesting. I mean, I guess the other side of that is if you set up a TIF district, then you take all the tax increment financing that would be set up there, the food and beverage, and also the economic arm of the Lake County option income tax. this thing could work. And we are adjacent. I was watching PTI about 2 weeks ago, and Mike Wilbon, who's from the South Side, was literally telling Tony Kornheiser, who's from Canada, he's like, Indiana seems so far, and Wilbon's like, Hammond, Indiana is adjacent to Chicago. You can get there many different ways, so I don't think the proximity is an issue. I was told that it's the only issue, the only place that they want to go. Now, you heard Mayor Gary, the mayor of Gary, and Burley can speak more to this than I can, that they're looking at put their hat in the ring. So they have land. How much are they willing to give? How much is the state willing to give? I know one thing about NFL owners. They're cheap as hell. So, and the McCaskies are at the top of that list. So they'll take land free just to spite Illinois.
All right. Hey, Coos, we miss you.
It's good hearing your voice. Merry Christmas.
I'm just telling you right now. I'm telling everybody you're going to hear Coos' voice more, maybe in a little different format, but it's coming.
I'm not for the morning, and the morning's not for me, and that's okay. But the best part of this is this: Merry Christmas to everybody. Be all you can be and enjoy your life.
There it is. I think he tipped his hand a little bit there. Thanks, Dave. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Talk to you.
So let me respond to Dave with what I can say. I'm very familiar.
Your husband right now is texting you, shut up, Verley.
Exactly. So I'm going to definitely keep my mouth shut in certain regards. But I will say this, as far as Dave being very familiar with the situation. I was even more familiar when Earl Harris's dad was the first one that tried to do this with bringing a professional team before Earl even thought about going into politics. So, yes, of course, New York, because there's so many people out there, the negativities. Oh, why? What are they going to be, the Gary Bears or the Hammond Bears or what have you? The New York Jets, New York Giants both play at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. They still retain their names, their training centers, their corporate headquarters, everything is in New Jersey. So, yes, we know about the Kansas City team possibly going to Missouri. There's rumors out there that Kansas is not going to let that happen. We'll wait and see. The possibility of the Bears coming to Indiana has been talked about many times before. My question is, who says it's going to be Hammond? Just like the convention center. Who said it was going to be Hobart? Well, ask Hobart how that worked out. So that's all I'm saying is, I would just wait and see what happens. But I would definitely say, from my own personal opinion, Hammond is not the only city on the decision panel. It's a lot closer to come to Indiana than to go to Arlington Heights. Arlington Heights does not have the infrastructure as far as the highways to support that move. If I had to look at proximity, okay, so Hammond, let's see, you can get to Wolf Lake from Chicago by either going locally down South Shore Drive through the avenues with the letters through, or you can get on the Skyway and get off over there. But if it's in Gary, you got 8094, you got I-65, you got the toll road. So there's a lot more ways to get there, get to Gary, than there are to get to Wolf Lake. But that's just my opinion. As far as anything else that's going on?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you on a lot of what you're saying. It's not the only location, isn't Hammond. Certainly, there's people that are in South County that are looking at things, but
it's not going to South County.
Right now, Adriana just showed up.
Hi,
we got to take a short break, and we'll get reset. And Adriana, I do have to ask one thing.
And I just have one question also. The mayor's talking to the governor's people?
Well, hey, Adriana,
Yeah.
I just have one question. Verly came and asked why we were hearing weather from this weekend. Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, I did. I missed one step in the Simeon, and I realized that, and I was like, I'll do it
So we
today.
do have it. We're learning and
I'll make a new one just for like the Christmas.
Yeah, we'll
I'll fix that.
We'll fix that. So we will get that and other things going here, but we're going to take a short break, and we are going to talk about the stadium. We're going to talk about U.S. Steel. We're going to talk about a couple of other things that I know it's Christmas coming, but we still got a lot of stuff happening, and we'll get to that right after this on the Voice and Face of the Region. Hey everybody, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. Let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks good. 80 looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, they're all moving along pretty doggone well. In terms of the weather, Adriana Alvarez.
Yeah, so just for you guys, we're going to re-record that weather that you're hearing right now. I'm still learning Simeon, but we're going to get there. But currently right now at the Shack Van Til Studios, it is 39 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 49 degrees and lows of 31. Clouds are limiting sunshine. On Christmas Eve for Wednesday, highs of 48 degrees, lows of 38. Mostly cloudy with areas of drizzles in the late afternoon. Christmas morning will not be a white Christmas with highs of 44 degrees and lows of 38. Low clouds and fog. And those weather conditions will continue until we get to about Sunday, where we dip back into the 30s and 20-degree weather.
So we started talking about the stadium coming, possibly the Bears again, 30 years after the first time they used us as leverage to get basically a remodel of Soldier Field. And the question is, are they using us now as leverage? And I got two comments on this. One is that the situation is completely different now, and that we are a force, a major force that is happening right now. I'm going to do a story right now here about another $5 billion data center coming to Lake County, or wanting to come, brought by Andy Quinnell and Dave Westland. And then also talk about $500 million investment by U.S. Steel in relining the furnace over there. And that's just regular stuff that is happening here. And in terms of the economics of the situation, we have a much friendlier tax environment, and these guys are all about money. And honestly, a lot of people have shown that they can move out of their city, even into a different state. Kansas City, Missouri, obviously way bigger than Kansas City, Kansas. They're announcing, the Chiefs announced over the weekend, are moving across the river. Now, certainly the Meadowlands proved that everybody would still follow the Giants and the Jets and go to the Meadowlands, and they'd have, World Cup soccer. The situation has changed considerably, and we have to recognize.
And don't forget
that.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, exactly. I went, when they were building that, I went to a innovation conference, and it was right across the street from where they were building it, and they were almost done. So I actually got to take a run in there, and one of the guys was just like a security guard. They let people from the conference go in and see it. And I said, well, I don't want to just go see it. If I'm going to go, I want to run. So I got to run up and down and all around. And then the security guard sat down and said, man, look at all this. Look at that. Look at this. It's a huge success building it down in San Jose. It's just a great thing. That being said, I think that what we are used to is the kind of infighting that is already developing. And mostly it's between Hammond and Gary right now behind the scenes. And you can see whoever sent the trucks out there to Hammond, Wolf Lake. I mean, there's already gamesmanship already happening. And to some extent, I always tell you guys, I want good candidates running, whether Democrats or Republicans. I want people competing on the hardwood, people competing on the turf, and that's what we do, is we televise competition. I'm all based on competition. I want other people in the news space. I think this all makes us all better to a point. And here, around here in Lake County, when we are 19 overlapping municipal taxing jurisdictions, as Matt Reardon used to say, it becomes a kind of horizontal leadership in that we don't have a united front to get big projects done. And I just hope that internal squabbling in Lake County does not keep this project from happening.
Well, I would just say there's internal, all that's happening in Chicago as well. So it's nothing new. It happens in every municipality and every state and competing forces, and it's happened here forever. We know how the mayor of Hammond came out against the convention center, actually even having a convention center. And so we'll just wait and see.
Well, I think right now you have a kind of a breakdown on the Illinois side in a centralized power structure, in that the mayor of Chicago is competing with some pretty strong collar communities and collar counties. I mean, in the past, it used to all be kind of centered on Chicago and all the power there, but now it has kind of spread out a little bit, and there are competing interests. So, in a weird way, if that were to be, that's kind of our MO, is all of us. I mean, we don't have the central city that Cook County has. We have two cities that are about the same size, and then we have some growing suburban communities. We're not held together.
Same size population-wise, not same size mass-wise.
No, not land mass-wise,
right,
but population-wise. So I think that it could actually go the other way, as if they kept squabbling Illinois and the collar counties and Arlington Heights versus the city of Chicago. We could use that if we had a unified effort. But this show, I was already in the morning, is already showing what it's boiling down to. And I kind of was hoping that this wouldn't happen. It's Hammond versus Gary right now. And that is what McDermott came out and didn't want a convention center, and Gary wound up winning that one and getting a convention center. But I don't know how much we can realistically get done if we are presenting to the world, and we're presenting to the world right now, if it's Hammond versus Gary. We can't, it's just going to be hard to get past that squabble.
Well, I think that the squabble comes usually on one side, and the other side usually doesn't respond, and they go about the business of getting things done. And so that's how I think it will continue. Let's take the callers. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Mike?
First thing, we have a Heisman Trophy and a winning football team on college in Indiana. How about that?
IU.
Yeah, we have a Heisman Trophy sitting in the Bloomington, Indiana. But did you hear, after San Francisco beat last night, did you hear the breaking news about midnight last night?
No, what?
Did you guys hear?
I didn't hear any breaking news at midnight.
Yeah. The Indiana Colts packed up overnight, moved to Chicago's Soldier Field, and the Bears moved to Lucas Stadium in Indianapolis.
So it sounds like alternative facts.
Remember many years ago, many moons ago, the Colts packed up and moved to Indiana, like overnight. Remember that one?
They packed up in the middle of the night, Ursay. And there's people in Baltimore that are still smarting from that move.
Yeah, I was just joking about the breaking news because it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, the Colts looked bad last night. And
yeah, but it would be something, But I did a 2-minute recap of the Bears beat the Packers Saturday, and unbelievable. That 2-minute recap video I did is already at 7K views.
All right, hey, tell people where it is.
Mike's Ground Air videos. I'm waiting for. Well, thing is, that's Chicago. Fine, people can come see that. I'm waiting for IU because they're playing Alabama is their first game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one.
All right, Mike's Ground to Air videos. All you got to do is go follow Mike, and there is the Bears highlight video. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds long. Good job, man. You got 7,000 views. That's really cool. And it's really clear, and that's outstanding.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, I wish the Bears the best of luck. Indiana, best of luck, you know. I'm waiting. Well, see, my boss, his son, his family, we're graduates from IU. And, well, I went and did my drone down in Bloomington many years ago. I was asked to come down there and do something. They gave me an IU shirt and a hat. Well, you Burley saw me one day. I went to visit them.
Yes, I did.
And I had my shirt up because I mean, I like Purdue. I like the Purdue hockey. I'm getting so sad that I want to go to the Purdue hockey games at the Cube, but I still cannot drive when it gets dark, and their games start at 7, and I can. I did one night. I drove down 169th Street to go somewhere real quick, and after that night, I said, no. I only went from my house to Calumet Avenue, and it was terrible, so I don't do that. But I slept in this morning, but I was shocked when I slept in and turned on, and Burley's on there. But Burley, you and your family, you guys have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Okay?
You and Deb as well, definitely, and the rest of your family.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Merry Christmas. We appreciate it. Hurry up. Go ahead.
Okay. We got to say Merry Christmas to one certain family and wishing them best of luck on their holiday is Marine Pete and all of his family to have a wonderful and a blessed Christmas.
Definitely.
That's outstanding. Thanks a lot.
Most definitely.
So to continue this discussion.
We still have another caller.
Well, yeah, now we do, but also stop moving your mic.
All right, sorry. I'm on the wrong headset, okay? All right, so we'll get to that in a second, all right? Yeah. So every few years, there you go, that's better. That sounds better.
Okay. You kept moving it, and I'm like, you're getting louder and louder on the board. I'm like,
well, I think this when we move to, we'll have stationary mics. We won't have headsets anymore. Right. So every few years, somebody from the Colts calls us, says, "Hey, why don't you guys want to carry the Colts? You carry Indiana University, you carry Purdue University," and we say, "Yeah, let's go ahead." And the person in the Colts doesn't realize what's about to happen, and I already know what's about to happen. It happened in, I don't know, maybe 2008, happened in like 2016. And I say, yeah, we'll take them, and we'll get down the line, and we're going to become a Colts affiliate. And then all of a sudden I'll get the email or I'll get the call, oh, that's not going to happen. I go, well, why is that going to happen? I already know the answer to the question. The question is that there is a gentleman's agreement between the Ursays and the McCaskies that Northwest Indiana is Bears territory. And we can't carry the Colts because we're Bears territory. So I talked to the attorney, and I'm like, well, we can pay for that stadium down there, and we can give tax money to all of the incentives for the Colts, but we can't, as WJOB, carry the Colts. And the Colts want to be part of it, but they're like, man, we're not going to mess with the Ursays and the McCaskies. So and I let it go, and I'm like, I'm not going to fight the NFL. But recently, the Colts are now giving $5,000 to any school in Indiana that will put girls flag football. And there's a whole bunch of region schools that are in Bears territory that are taking the $5,000 from the Colts. Mm-hmm. Conversely, we take Purdue and we take IU and we blow, we're taking the IU's farther than the Colts. And so I'm a little conflicted on this whole thing because I've been pissed for a long time. I'm like, there's a lot of people here that have asked me to talk. I won't talk about it anymore, but have asked, why aren't you guys carrying the Colts? What's wrong with that? Why can't you take the Colts?
I think if you try it again, you might be successful.
Well, now that Jim Irsay has died,
yeah.
Would it be different between the Irsay women and the McCaskey family? Because, I don't know. I would love to carry the Colts here, but
yeah.
Would that not be ironic?
It would be.
If I was carrying the Colts here on WJOB and right down the street they had the Bears.
It would be very interesting.
I'm sorry.
I would look into it.
But that begs the question. If we are Bears territory considered by the NFL, evidently there's some sort of
I used to
some
carry
sort
the
of
Bulls, and they wanted to be on your station as well, but you didn't want to be bothered with them.
Well, that's Chicago.
So
try carrying the Pacers.
Well,
then then you run into some problems.
Mm-hmm.
But if I carried the Colts, I'd have all sorts of sponsors that want to sponsor the Colts.
Right.
So it's a huge money decision and not being able to do that. So if we are indeed Bears territory, then why can't we all just be considered 8 million people that feed to the Bears? And why can't the Bears just say, well, they're our territory, let's just move there? I mean, it's not that big a deal.
It isn't, because we're all part of that same metropolitan planning area that's included with Chicago. Northwest Indiana is part of that. So
exactly. When I first started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, like Maloney said, he goes, this is zero chance. But after having a few conversations and getting a text from someone who's right there at the table, this is real.
Yeah.
Now the question is, Hammond or Gary?
I always laugh at when people say there's zero chance and then they want to change their bet.
That was a first reaction. It wasn't like I'm changing my bet. I'm just like, oh God, because I lived through this with Chris Morrow, who he had Mercantile Bank at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm friends with Chris, and I'm like, hey man, they're just using us. No, this is real. And he went on TV, and they're like, oh yeah, Indiana's offering this and offering that. And we were just leveraged to get the city of Chicago and Mayor Daley to move in the direction that the Bears wanted, right?
Well, I mean, everything is leverage. Peatone is leverage. The Gary Chicago International Airport was leverage against Peatone. So everything is leverage.
What are you not saying? You keep smiling.
I just enjoy this. I love seeing positive things happening in the region.
Can we talk about one more?
Sure.
We
do
need
have
to
a
hit
caller
this.
waiting too.
Go ahead, take the caller. We have different views on that, Verley and I. Go ahead. Hey, you're on the air.
Oh, it's so good to be back from L.A. to Northwest Indiana, home sweet home, Gary, Indiana. I'm glad to be back.
It's good to have you back, Ron.
When I say L.A., I mean Lower Arkansas, Jed. I don't mean California.
I know exactly what you mean, man.
I think we all know that now.
A little Nashville, Arkansas. When I say Nashville, they think I'm talking about Tennessee. It's a Nashville, Arkansas, right outside of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just glad, and it's just strange how you meet people from Arkansas, and when you meet people, and I see a guy on with Indiana hat cap. I said, "Where are you from?" And he asked me where was I. I said, "I'm from Gary, Indiana." He said, "You know what? I live in Arkansas now, but I went to school in Emerson in Gary, Indiana."
Wow, small world.
And I just laughed. He said, "Hi, it's Gary." I said, "Gary, Indiana is doing fine. Things are changing, and he's just a very positive guy." And he was basically, I guess, a little cattle. He's a rancher down there in Arkansas. And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "My nephew he owns some chickens. He does chickens and send them to Tyson. He got a big contract with Tyson for doing this in 48 years, and I'm so proud of him doing things that he's doing. So there's opportunities in Arkansas, And so we just sit down and we talk, and because he wouldn't let me go. I stopped to get some coffee, and he just started talking. Come on, can we sit down and talk? And I said, we certainly can. And it's just so nice, and it gave me a whole different thing of Arkansas, where I came up on the opportunities that exist. And we was all positive, and so he asked me about the Bears coming to Gary, Indiana. I said, I don't know nothing about it. My son called me, and he said, "Daddy, did you know?" I said, "But I was not allowed to look at television when I was down there." But my friend said, just leave it alone, because all this stuff nationally. And I used to say I said to her, there's something happening in Indianapolis or Washington, D.C. We need to know what's going on. A legislator could walk right by and you won't even know. So So I was not able to. And I'm a news person. I love to news, and I crossed over, whether it be a right station or the right station or wrong station, whatever you want to call it, left or right. I just love the news. I mean, I will not leave and NBC doing the 5:30 news. I got certain people that I like to look at, and of course, there are other people who like to look at other things. But I am basically a news person, and so I got back. To Gary, I guess 2 days ago, and man, it couldn't bar me away from the television. And I asked my good friend, "Hey man, what am I missing? What am I missing?" Like, he said, "Well, I said, yeah, I heard about the Bears coming to Gary, Indiana, and I don't believe it's going to happen because right now it's a lot of money involved, and I think it's a negotiating. That's what the Bears are doing, and that's what we used to do in Union. We'd say, hey, if you don't give us this, we're gonna do this. We're gonna leave, And I still don't believe it. I just think I don't think Hammond or Gary will get that. That's just my opinion. I think it would be great, but it's just yet. I'm just telling you right now. When you leave home and you go back to a place you come from, and all the fighting we have here, and I just don't like it. And so I'm gonna be on a positive mood this morning. I'm not gonna call out any politician, whether it be in Washington locally. Let's just know. And think, have everybody have a great time. This time, you see those pictures. I sent you a couple of pictures, Jed. My brother is in a nursing home in Little Rock, and the nursing home they have things, and so they asked me, say, well, Mr. Matlock, you coming down here? We have something for all the people that we love for their loved ones. I said, you realize that we're about 700 miles from here? It's not like I can come down there to thing. And so my friend said, well, we ought to go. Your brother will be glad to see you down there. And right now, because he's in Little Rock, and that's about 120 miles from down in Nashville. And I said, well, we're going to go. We're going to go. So packed up, and I said, I don't really like to fly down there, and I don't want to drive. But I have to drive because when you fly into Little Rock, if you don't go into Little Rock is the Clinton National Airport in Little Rock. And right now I have to drive from a car to down in Nashville, which I would rent a car. So I said, we just drive. So we drove down, and she said, well, you may even let me drive because I know you get sleepy. You get sleep under the wheel. I said, I don't go to sleep under the wheel. I definitely. So we drove, and it was just a great thing. And I just want to thank everybody who tolerate Ron Matlock. I know it's kind of hard for some people, but I mean well, and I just think it is time that people, we all should be godly thinking people and want to treat each other regardless to their political affiliation. That's small, and I know I'm willing to just stop. I'm tired of fighting,
You're tired of fighting, Ron? I don't believe that. Hey, man, we want to offer you a Merry Christmas, and I'm glad you enjoyed going to L.A. I wondered why we hadn't heard from you for a couple days. But
you didn't know where I was talking about when I said L.A.
Oh, I knew exactly. You've done that to me several times. And I'm like, you were in L.A. I'm going, no, I don't fall for that anymore. Okay. Thanks a lot, Ron. Merry
Take care,
Christmas.
Ron. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Hey, take a short break. Verly and I got a couple more stories we got to get to. Even though the Christmas holiday is coming up, we still want to talk about what this another $5 billion data center and a couple of other things, including the investment by U.S. Steel. Things are happening, not just the Bears. And I think they all kind of relate together. But we'll be right back to try to make sense of it all on the Voice and Face of the Region. AM 1230 WJOB. Hey everybody, hey, nothing. You get me? Yeah. Can you turn my ears up a little bit? And I'm not hearing it. There you go. Much better. Thank you. Hey everybody, turn it back up. It went down again. Hey everybody, AM 1230 WJOB 104.7 FM. I'm Jim Dedelow, the host of Jed in the Region with Verley on Tuesdays, and I'm losing my concentration because this is my last full show of the year, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it's actually my last show here at Purdue, too, I guess. But I will be here. I'll stop in on a couple other shows just to check in with people, so you don't get rid of me that easily. 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road look good. There's all of a sudden there's a problem on the Borman. The center lane is blocked westbound towards Illinois. Expected delay of about 10 minutes. And it's backing all the way up to Burr. So basically from Indianapolis Boulevard or between Indianapolis and Kennedy all the way back to Burr. That's the only thing on the entire Chicago area. And it's like right down the street here, just a couple blocks from us. Adriana Alvarez with the weather.
Currently, right now, at the Strack Vento Studios, it is 39 degrees today. We are seeing highs of 49 degrees and lows of 31. Clouds will be limiting sunshine. On Christmas Eve for Wednesday, highs of 48 degrees, lows of 38. Mostly cloudy with areas of drizzle in the late afternoon. Christmas morning will not be a white Christmas as we will have highs of 44 degrees and lows of 38 degrees. Low clouds and fog, and these weather conditions will continue until we get into next week's Sunday, where we are seeing those 30 and 20 degree weathers once again.
Verley Suggs is here. We got a couple stories to go through. Here we are on December 23rd. Verley, U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel and the sale of U.S. Steel to Nippon Steel was a huge, I guess kind of it was controversial, went all the way up to the White House, but eventually it happened.
Yes, it did.
Is that good or bad for Gary?
It's wonderful for Gary.
Why?
Well, for years, the biggest complaint in Gary regarding the steel mill is that the amount of money that they were paying in taxes was cut tremendously when John Aguilera was in office, as well as, some of the other people who were there, Charlie Brown, Vernon Smith, Earlene Rogers. They were all there in office at that time as well, Lonnie Randolph. And people never felt that U.S. Steel was paying its fair share into the city. They were never investing like the citizens of Gary felt. And they had to deal with the pollution and the effects of having a steel mill. But I mean, I always felt that, hey, the steel mill was there first. People chose to move there because of the steel mill. So you know that when you live somewhere where industry is high, then the expectation is that you're going to deal with pollution and other things. Over the years, of course, those standards have increased and improved with the EPA and other entities. So the environmental issues have been addressed, are being addressed. But the money that the steel mill being able to assess their own equipment and everything, just didn't do well for the city of Gary. Schools closed, population shifted, and the city struggled for a long time. Now seeing this huge amount of money, first of all, seeing what Nippon Steel was offering, when here's U.S. Steel valuing them this low amount, and then here you get all this money being offered. It's like selling your home and you telling the tax man, "Oh, my house is only worth $100,000," and then someone comes and offers $1 million to buy it. Well, who's been lying about the value of your property? Is it really worth $1 million, or was it worth $100,000 that you were only paying taxes worth on? So this money that Nippon, you can already see some of the improvements taking place. The entrance into the steel mill on Broadway has been improved as far as the artwork that they've put there, trying to beautify a little more. Haven't been to Japan. That used to actually be my route all the time. Seeing how the Japanese, their standards, they're very high standards. They love beautification. They love cleanliness. And so bringing those same thoughts into a steel mill, to me, will improve not only the money that's coming into the city of Gary, but also improve the environment and what U.S. Steel is going to look like in the future. If you're investing in things that have been shut down, if you're investing in maybe office space and the area around you, it's just going to be an improvement for the city of Gary.
Now
and jobs, more jobs.
Pittsburgh-based steelmaker, now a subsidiary of Tokyo-based Nippon Steel, this is out of the Times, said is advancing $550 million in upgrades to the 117-year-old steel mill. And what they're looking to do is reline blast furnace number 14. That's the largest one there at Gary Works, if you've ever been there. U.S. Steel said the massive maintenance project, which involves rebuilding the refractory brick from the inside the blast furnace, was needed to meet customer demand and safeguard the long-term future of iron making at the steel mill. That's a lot of money coming into U.S. Steel and a lot of jobs that are over there.
Most definitely. And why would anyone invest that type of money if they didn't believe there was going to be a good outcome from it?
So there's another possible, much larger investment with much less jobs is in Crown Point. And once again, I'll read Joe Pete. This one's Dan Carden out of the Times. It's 160-acre farm field in a lightly inhabited area of South Lake County may someday be the site of a $5 billion data center. Now, it's kind of hard to keep all the data centers in your head. I don't know. I know that they're looking to come into Hobart, maybe perhaps one of the biggest ones. But this is a different one. Representatives of Sentinel Data Centers told the Lake County Plan Commission that the New York-based company is eyeing a parcel on the south side of Route 2, just east of Clay Street. That's east of I-65. I think that's going actually out toward Leroy, if I'm not mistaken. And that is on the other side from Lowell of Route 2. Project attorney Dave Westland said the site is 2 miles from the nearest residential neighborhood, 6 miles from the nearest school, and consistent with the county's comprehensive plan. Westland said this: I would argue, but for maybe one other site in the entire county, this is the single best place for this. All right?
Sounds good. I mean,
so the data center would employ 250 people once completed. On a $5 billion investment, I mean, that obviously does seem kind of low compared to putting $550 million into U.S. Steel and keeping, a couple thousand people working.
But data centers are different entities.
They are, but there is a different return on investment. Isn't people oriented? It's machine oriented. But
right.
anyway,
I mean, are they offering them any type of incentive to come, or is this just going to help?
I'm going to get to that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the data center would employ 250, but it would take 2,500 construction workers to build. That's an entirely different talk I want to have. Maybe I'll have it with Ray Kasmar, who's waiting in the wing there. But do we have enough tradespeople to do this? I don't know the answer to that. I know that they all tell me they do, but I'm like, really? But
well,
anyway.
they import them in. So if anyone's out there trying to rent their space, these workers come in. They, like the one in New Carlisle. I know a girl. They live in Chicago. Her husband is renting a place out there to help build the Amazon data center in New Carlisle.
Yeah, there's no way you could drive there every day back and
forth.
So
some that's
do.
What people.
Some are doing
do.
that.
Well, he comes home on the weekends, but a lot of people, they're renting spaces to these construction workers are coming from all over the country to do these jobs.
So Dave Westland is the attorney. What do they call him? The project attorney. And then the owner's representative is Andy Quinnell. He said Sentinel is not currently seeking a tax abatement beyond the data center incentives already included in state law.
And see, that's perfect because a lot of these entities, they want to come into your community. They want you to put up your money. Some of them would ask for your American Rescue money. They don't want to put anything out of their pocket. They want to get what you have, bring it to your community, and expect tax abatements.
All right, so you've got Westland as their project attorney. You've got Andy Quinnell as their owner's rep. Now you got to look at, how does this move forward? Lake County Councilman Randy Niemeyer is also on the County Plan Commission, which is the key element here. He said he will insist the ordinance is followed to the letter and the approval process is transparent and open to the public to ensure this data center project is done right. Now, if you remember, the Lake County Council, we covered this back in August. I mean, people are looking, everyone wants to come here. There's so many reasons to come here, okay? The Lake County Council addressed it, and they had they got this, what they're calling here, a rigorous data center development standards. And it's a detailed site plan with emergency access routes, an energy capacity assessment, a water management plan, noise mitigation, and a bunch of other things.
Are those things being followed in Hobart as well? Because I know there is a lawsuit currently. Some of the residents are suing against these data centers.
So Hobart has, from what I understand, and that one's bigger, and that one would be, I talked to Huddleston at one of the, I don't go to too many things, but I ran into him, and we were talking about it, and he's trying to get it done, I guess, but the problem there is that it is closer to things. This one out in South Lake County is not close to things. I mean, there'll be some people that are close, single homes probably, farmhouses, that kind of thing. But my relatives, I used to go to our family reunion used to be in Leroy, and then there's that big Stony Run out there, and they all lived out there at the corner. Leroy's got one stoplight, and that's where my relatives lived. The Hedricks, you hear his concrete business that I in the spring and in the summer I promote his concrete business. Ronnie Hedrick, he grew up right there. That area, there ain't nothing there, man. Going out there, I mean, there's nothing there really between Crown Point and Leroy. So I don't know if that's before Leroy or after. I thought Leroy was kind of close to the county line. So there ain't nothing there. That's not a bad idea, right?
Right,
Same thing
no.
with New Carlisle. Now, Hobart isn't a bad idea if they can do it right. But those residents are really kicking up a dust storm right now.
Right. So we'll see what happens. And you and I have not been together since the vote took place regarding the redistricting of the first district. So we'll see. A lot of things that are happening may not necessarily be what was planned, but I think in the long run, we're going to see a lot of good things happening in the region.
We have not been on since that redistricting vote happened. Were you surprised?
As I got closer to the vote, I was kind of in the middle. I thought that basically they were going to, after the state reps voted yes, I thought the senators might cave and vote yes. I was surprised at how many of them voted no. That 30 of them actually voted against it. And so I was very happy. I was very pleasantly surprised because if it had just been like maybe the vote had passed by just 4 or 5, then I said, oh boy. But when I saw that many people stood their ground against redistricting and did not and followed what Mitch Daniels said, I was very pleased.
Mitch Daniels I thought was a factor in that. People were discounting him, and I heard the people that were for redistricting to get, a Republican in there were like, well, Mitch Daniels isn't what he used to be. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure about this? Because when he comes out and say, don't do this, that it's bad, and that you don't have to listen to the guy in the White House, basically, is what he said in his opinion column that he put in the Washington Post. I mean, that was a big factor. And I hadn't really been thinking about it, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I mean, in the beginning, I was like, if you're in charge, you could do whatever you want. And, that's just how it is. And if there's 3 houses that are all run by the governor and the 2 legislative houses are all Republicans, folks can get together and they can do whatever they want. But then I thought about it. So really what's happening, Verley, and we don't have time for this, maybe you'll pick this up on Tuesday, is that there really is a little bit of a divide, that is happening in the Republican Party. I mean, we've covered the problems with the Democratic Party, and I've kind of come at you a few times, and I come at Weezer about it. And now you got to look at it on the other side of this. And I just wanted to bring up one article out of, I don't forget where this is. There's a GOP fight over bigotry and how you handle bigotry. And the bitter infighting over bigotry during Turning Point USA's national conference exposed fissures in President Trump's movement and who would be the heir apparent. Vance came out and said, I'm including everybody, right? He said, everybody, it doesn't matter. If you're a Republican, you're a Republican. He says, when I say I'm going to fight alongside you, I mean all of you, each and every one. And he said, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore in this country. And I thought that was I want to get it. In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. Now, there's a whole other wing of it. Like one of the guys was, what do we got? Are they coming? Hanson will be here at 8:30. Good. All right. So the other wing, I think Ramaswamy was one of the people that talked about it, and he's running for governor in Ohio. He went after those who embrace the idea of a so-called heritage Americans, a predominantly white group whose families have been in the country for generations, that they have a greater claim to the nation than other people. The comments put Ramaswamy and his folks at odds with Vance and his folks. Vance has spoken out against importing millions and millions of low-wage serfs that are out for the theft of the American dream. You have two angles developing in the Republican Party. Your thoughts?
Well, I think as the Republican Party becomes more diverse, then you see things like this happening, where if the Republican Party is just like predominantly one race and they can pretty much say and do and get away with whatever they want to. But when you have people like from India, as Vance's wife is from, or Ramaswamy, or you have African Americans in the Republican Party, then when you start saying that, oh, yeah, well, the white man deserves this land because we were the first ones here and this and that, you weren't really, but you're going to get pushback. And people who will look at the Republican Party as embracing a lot of these white supremacist groups and what have you, they will start questioning, why are you embracing these people who really mean us harm? So diversity has a double-edged sword, because diversity in your party, just because you have the same views kind of politically, does not mean you have the same views morally. And that's where the rifts will come in.
That's why I love having you on. That's not the only reason. The main reason is I don't have to prepare on Monday night. But I had not thought of that diversity has it as a double-edged sword. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at, God, I'm glad there's more black people and Indian people and even Jewish people coming to the Republican Party, and that it's making it more diverse. But when you make it more diverse, then people are like, hey, you can't be against us because of our skin color. And then that begs the question of the wing that kind of wants, the white people wing versus more, it almost, now that I'm looking at it, it's almost becoming like, the Heritage Americans wing. And then you have a diverse wing, more diversity coming in. And that diversity changes. I had literally not thought about it, nor had I read anything about that. And I'm pretty widely read on this.
That's because it came out of my head. You haven't read that. That's why.
Well, I mean, I think...
What comes out of my head doesn't come out of someone else's mouth. So, it comes out of my head.
So to bring it all the way around, Indiana's stance against President Trump was huge for a lot of reasons. But mainly it was the first major step in America of Republicans standing up to Trump.
Yes. I'm very, very proud of the Senate in the state of Indiana. I sent Senator Charbonneau a message. It was his birthday this past week, but just so proud of them taking that stand. Truly.
See, if you had your own podcast, you could bring him on and do a little podcast.
Well, we could bring him on the radio.
No.
He's getting ready to retire from it. Right?
Hey, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, but mostly you, Verly. You have, she won't take anything. Adriana and I have tried to put something together, and Adriana is pro bono, man. She just comes in and does this. And I can't thank you enough. I mean, I don't know how to say anything other than Merry Christmas to you and the guy who doesn't answer my text.
Oh, sorry about that. Merry Christmas. Shout out to my daughter April and son-in-law Jason and grandchildren Christian and Sebastian, who drove in from the East Coast to spend Christmas with us. So I'm heading back home.
Thanks a lot, Verly. I'm going to come back with Ray Kasmar brought me a little present. He's going to present it to me. All right, be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region. AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. Let's take a look at traffic. Still have that problem. There's only one problem in the entire Chicago area, and that is a couple of blocks from where we're sitting here. at the Purdue Northwest campus, which we will be moving out of here. The radio will be. The sports has its own destination. But the accident is in the center lane between right around Kennedy Avenue, and it's backing all the way up between right about between Kennedy and Indianapolis westbound. And that has things backed up all the way almost to Grant right now. So if you think you're just going to whip around the region, that is not going to happen. That is the only traffic there is. It's Christmas week. There's not a lot of people on the roads. And you can drive pretty much everywhere you want to go except westbound on the Borman. Adriana Alvarez with the weather.
Currently, right now, at the Shack and Van Til Studios, it is 38 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 49 degrees and lows of 31. Clouds are limiting sunshine. For Wednesday, Christmas Eve, you will see highs of 48 degrees, lows of 38, mostly cloudy with areas of drizzles in the late afternoon. Thursday, we are seeing highs of 44 degrees and lows of 38, low clouds and fog. And these warm temperatures continue on until Sunday, where we go back into the 30s and 20-degree weather.
We got a guest. Believe me, I don't take that many guests, but I'll take this guy. Introduce yourself, please, sir.
Morning, Jed. My name is Ray Kazmark, retired 44-year member of the IBEW, Local 697.
You were in there would you go in at 18?
No, I went in at 21 after I graduated from University of Utah, and retired in 2023. But the clock keeps going even after you retire. So 44 years. Your first year doesn't count. It's you're unindentured, right? So you don't get initiated till the second year. So, yeah. I'm third generation. My two boys are fourth generation.
And they're in 697?
They are. They both work for MJ Electric. Chauncey's out at U.S. Steel, running work out there. He also teaches at night school at our apprenticeship. And Taylor is a big shout out at BP for MJ. And he is on executive board. I think he's in his third term on the local union executive board.
So he's on 697 E-board?
Yep.
So I got to be nice to you because they approve my check every year?
Yeah, it might help, yeah. So
yeah, the local 697 and the NICA, the contractors all get together. And it's a kind of an odd situation. And I think you were one of the original architects of bringing I think it's now Powering Lake County, started out as certified electrician to us here at WJOB and now to the Heartland Sports Network. And it's a little bit of an odd bird in the labor world because it's a vertical relationship where the contractors and the electricians get together. In a lot of the other ones, they got it, it's all contractors and then it's all like laborers or carpenters. They're not doing that. But in your guys' kind of niche industry, that's the standard. You guys work with the contractors.
Always have, especially here, and it's paid off. I mean, we have the highest market share in the state, the highest wage package in the state. So, I mean, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar, obviously. So what's good for them is good for us. We've always understood that as an industry. The IBW, even on the national level, there's a National Labor Management Cooperative Committee, does the same thing. So,
hey, so you want to see the producer back there, Adriana Alvarez, jump out of her seat? Every time I take a drink of this, I hit my microphone. She's just going nuts. She's like, "Will you not do that?" But anyways, what have you been doing, man? You worked out of the hall, ran the hall for a while.
Yeah.
And then nobody saw you for a lot of years. Where were you?
Witness protection program, No. My career is basically in 3 chunks. I worked 16 years in the field with the tools in the industry here, U.S. Steel, that 14 blast furnace.
Relining that is going to be such. I was worked out there as a laborer a few times, and it's like 14 blast furnace. I'm not going in that one, man. I mean, they got to cool it down. Oh, it's crazy.
So, Christmas of '83, it was 26 below. The winds were about 50 miles an hour, and they had a breakout on the cast house floor and went out on the stove platform. the first time I'd ever been in the mill. My job was, I got there, I don't know what time it was, 2 in the afternoon, whatever. Take this lance and melt 3 foot of ice off the stairs going down to the hoist house. So you got to get to the hoist house. We got to get work to do in there. It was the fires of hell, the noise and the cold, and people's jackets were catching on fire because of the salamanders going. And anyway, we put it back together in 8 days, round the clock. 8 days. There was
like a total chaos.
Oh, total chaos. There were probably 120 electricians out there for that whole week. It was insane. So after that, any industrial job I went on was a piece of cake because that was how I was baptized, literally by fire. So
mine was at BP. That's a whole different game.
Yeah.
They didn't have the regulations then that they have now. I remember going out on Indianapolis Boulevard, and I was the laborer helping with scaffold. They don't really do that as much now. They always arguing about who's carrying the scaffold over there. But anyways, that was my job, and just carrying scaffold all day. And then my uncle, who was on the job, I'd go meet him on break, and he'd smoke a cigarette out on Indianapolis Boulevard, and we were like 20 yards from the cat cracker.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm like, I'm no rocket scientist here, but he's smoking that cigarette right here twice a day at 9:45 and the second one and at lunch, so 3 times a day. And that cat cracker was right there. I still have little nightmares sometimes about just that thing blowing up because the guy's smoking cigarettes.
It's changed a lot, yeah. You're talking about Danny Brown, right?
And you're talking about coats starting on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't happen anymore, man.
No.
They got, I mean, you're talking about Danny Brown. You know Danny Brown?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, that was the second part of my career, was the 17 years I spent in the office as an assistant to Bob Anadel for 8 years and then business manager for 9 years. So I spent 17 years with the Northwest Indiana Building Trades boys. So I was just with them 2 weeks ago. It's nice to be back for a short little stint. So
you weren't at the Pirates.
I was at the Voyage, but this was another. I'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay,
this is another meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So that was the second part. Was the 17 years in the office leadership position. I was fortunate to, that the members kept me that long. My wife kept reminding me of that. But and we built a new place in 2009 out in Maryville. Really brought our organization forward, and the members supported that and embraced that whole thing. And that was a great accomplishment for our organization.
Aren't you glad you built that? I mean, Verley and I are sitting here talking about a $5 billion data center on top of all the other ones for 2,500 construction jobs. How many electricians do you think that is? That's a lot of electricians.
A lot.
It's a lot of electricians. And then, we're talking about the reline at U.S. Steel. I mean, there's so many projects
Convention
going on.
Center.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I talked to I've got 7 unions on now, and every one of them looks me in the eyes and it's like, hey, don't worry, we'll handle it. I go, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Don't worry, we got it.
Yeah,
and
always have.
Exactly. Everybody looks me in the eye and says that, but I'm like, I mean, sometimes there just aren't enough travelers. I mean, if there's a lot of look at the fitters, sometimes they run out. It gets a little short, and that can be a problem. With all of this growth, and you're just the retired guy, you could just sit back and make the judgment now. Can we handle it?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a couple things that are in our favor here. One is geography, just the central location of the region with the Collar counties and the South Bend, LaPorte, those areas. Everybody can commute at an hour. People are used to that. When work was slow in one place or another, we had people going over to Braidwood and Joliet. And when I was an apprentice for work, we've had people go up to Seminole and to DuPage County, do residential back in the late 80s, when work was slow here. So there's the geography portion, that portion that's in our favor. And then also, I mean, the training programs here, what people have been telling me is because of the hydrogen hub, a lot of people have already increased their numbers in their apprenticeship. And they were banking on that project, which has now been scrapped. So these other projects should fill up that vacuum.
And when you guys built that massive complex along I-65. You were a main driver of that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there was just a few people that are like, why do we need this? What is?
Oh yeah, sure.
You got a lot of.
Yeah, it's never 100%. No.
Yeah, and now with all of the training that's needed to be able to supply these industries, it's like, gosh, maybe we could probably be bigger at this point. I want the plumbers are in now. Sal Espino?
Sure.
Yeah, he took me around and he's like, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that, and we're expanding this and that. And I'm like, and then I go over to, I think other unions are also thinking of expanding their existing facilities.
Right.
4 of them I've already talked to about because to meet the demand. So in the beginning, you're getting a little bit of pushback for why are we building such a big thing and why, and then now it's like, we need something bigger.
Right. And that's why we did it initially was we had basically a 3-classroom building on Osborne and 169th was our school. Been there 50 years. Our hall is the North Township building now. Frank North Township bought it from us when we moved. That was totally inadequate size-wise. It's just dysfunctional office space. But it was 60 years old. So with the BP expansion coming, it was like, now is the time to do this. My predecessor, Bob Anadel, had the vision and forethought to start a building fund 10 years before. So we paid cash for our part, and we built that campus on 18 acres, so we have plenty of room to expand, and that's, now our apprenticeship has been ramped up as well. Basically double.
People, we don't talk about this. I mean, part of why I'm talking to Ray about this is that he had 3 distinct chapters, one in the field, one in the hall, 697, and then he went to the national. We haven't even talked about that yet, but so he's got this perspective, but I don't think we talk about it like all of these massive building projects that have kind of discovered Northwest Indiana, including the Bears looking at us. Part of that is that we have the labor force that can build it. And that's not coming out of companies.
Right.
That's coming out of the unions training their people. And, of course, I was a union guy, or still consider myself a laborer. And we, laborers, carpenters, everybody, have the ability to build it. And that makes this area stronger in terms of development. No matter where you stand on unions, that is a major selling point for us.
100%. The apprenticeship model is priceless. I mean, I was so fortunate as a young apprentice to have great journeymen around me and train me, cut me loose, challenge me. I mean, I worked service work when I was a first-year apprentice in a van by myself. And I'm like, Sonny Bell was one of my first foremen. So, Sonny, what if I run into something that I can't handle? He goes, that's what the phone's for, kid. And a payphone, right? Back then, there was no cell phone or nothing. It's like, yeah, but it teaches you to think on your feet. It develops you as a mechanic, as a human being, a troubleshooter. So I was very fortunate, and I think I'm not alone. We had a great base, as all the trades do, to train the next generation. That is the strength of the organization. And now our organization is very much younger demographically wise than it was, 15 years ago. So it's all trending in the right direction. It's priceless, so.
So and Ray kind of noticed this a while. We started moving into like covering high school sports on TV, and electricians came along, and then I brought the laborers and the carpenters kind of, I think I had 4 that started early, and I said, listen, over time, you guys are going to need to hire these kids who are running, the second string left tackle and the kid in the band. Everybody watches these games, and you bought in. You're like, you know what, Judd, you're right, and it's paid off in our partnership in that, we've had our small contribution to a lot of kids seeing the trades as a viable option, not just going to college.
Absolutely. I mean, for so many years, it was a father, son, grandson. Like I said, I was 3rd generation. But then when I started the apprenticeship in 81, that's kind of when things started to turn for our organization, where we didn't have all legacy people in the apprenticeship. So we have a very diverse membership now, and we need every able body that we can get, and we need people that can come to work. We'll teach them the trade. They just need to know how to come to work and keep their head down and work.
So the third chapter of your life was living out east. Tell us what you did and how you liked it.
Yeah, so in 2013, I was asked by our general president, Ed Hill, senior at the time, to come and work in the business development group, which was a brand new concept, started in 2012 with 3 reps. And I was asked to come on staff and take care of the Great Lakes region and do business development, which is basically how we've done business here forever. We connect customers and general contractors with our subcontractors to make sure that we're getting the projects bid on the ground floor ahead of time, so that your chances of sewing that work up are better. So it was kind of a natural fit for me, a natural progression. I took a thought about, hey, I've been in the office longer than I was working with the tools. Maybe, I've got some good young people behind me coming up. It's probably time to turn the page. So I did that. I worked here in the Midwest for 2 years. And then I was asked to be the director of the business development group, which went from those 3 people to 6 when I came on, and then eventually to about 14 folks across the country. But that entailed moving to D.C. area for that's where our international office is.
You were living in
Annapolis.
Maryland. Yeah,
we settled in Annapolis, which is it's millionaire's paradise. It's like being on vacation every day, but unfortunately I had to commute into D.C. all 5 days a week, unless I was traveling. So it's real nice out there, but it is the commute is debilitating, to say the least.
So,
but it was a great job, great experience.
So, talk about 697. You've had several heads come through after you, including one who's in Washington now.
Yeah, this guy, kind of ironic. The same week that Terry and I were driving back, Amy and Ryan were driving out. And Ryan is the chief of staff for our number 2 guy. Paul Noble is our secretary-treasurer, international secretary-treasurer. So I get back out there about 4 times a year for a pension board that I sit on. So I always hook up with Ryan if he's in town, and Amy as well. And they're doing great. They live in Alexandria.
What's Ryan's upside with the electricians?
Upside? There is no end to it. I mean, the kid's amazing. Remember, that Santerre Bank out in Maryville is a round building. He did that when he was like a first-year journeyman. That was his job. You go into his electrical panels, every circuit, every even circuit comes in the right side, because then it goes right into the breaker. Every odd circuit comes in a pipe in the left side and goes right into the breakers. There's no cross wires or nothing. I mean, he has got a brain that is amazing as far as innovation, organization, just the way he carries himself and his demeanor. He is one of my favorite people, and the reason I hired him, I was having lunch with our vice president, and we were at Giovanni's, and he was like, "Yeah, how do you like the job now that you're the boss? I've been in a couple of years." And I go, "Well, I'm struggling with succession." I go, I know I can't stay in this job until I retire. There's no way. You burn out. The members will throw you out.
Ask Ronnie where.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, right. There is a shelf life.
His hair turned gray. I see him, and it's kind of hard he doesn't have full concentration because he's going everywhere.
Yeah.
But he's running Randy, so that's a problem too.
So Randy,
not a problem.
Randy worked for me as well for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Another very talented individual. But anyway. So Jeff, I'm struggling with succession. I need to find somebody that can take over when I'm done, for the long term. He's like, well, it's very simple, Ray. You just look for someone who reminds you of you 20 years ago. I'm like, that's the guy.
So Ryan Riethel has leapfrogged a number of spots and has a nice leadership in the electricians. I guess what I'm asking bluntly is he president material of that kind of the entire?
Oh yeah, I don't.
You don't want to touch that one.
I don't touch that. No, he is Ryan is a very capable individual, and he will rise to has risen to his level. And Ryan could do any job. He's like one of those guys you could call out of the hall and just say, I got this job. I need somebody. Oh, that's the guy. Whatever it is, he can handle it.
So, Ryan, we were both at his house. I've been at his old house.
Obviously, the ranch,
he had
the
move.
Reedville Ranch.
He was the pride of Calumet Township, remember? And I'm going through his house, and I'm looking in all the cabinets. And then, of course, I go out, and he's got like 3 fridges and stuff. And I'm looking at him, and my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is the most organized guy I have ever met. I mean, you go in there and all the soup cans are facing forward. I go in there to grab a beer, and then he, later he'd come by and he saw that I'd taken a beer, and he'll pull the other ones forward. It's a couple times I just took a beer out and put it. I wasn't done yet. I didn't need it just to see how long it would take him. But that's just one. Felipe Hernandez running over there now.
Yes,
he was in the field, really good in the field, and here he is running the electricians. What do you say about Felipe?
Absolutely. I worked with Phil when on the original Empress job. That was my last project before I went in the office. And Kenny Baker and myself were doing the fire alarm system, and we had Phil was our apprentice. I mean, you could tell then he was amazing, mechanic and a good person. And he's Dan Waldrop made him a trustee when Dan was business manager. He put Phil on as a trustee on the funds. So Phil has been brought along slowly, and he settled right in after, Jory left and took Ryan's spot as a rep here in Indiana for construction locals. And Phil filled right in the spot, and he's doing really good. He's the admiral for Pirates.
Yes.
This year.
A matter of fact, so I'm sitting there talking to Ware and Roach, 2 of my buddies, and then we're talking to Felipe, and I'm like, I find out he's the admiral of the Pirates. And I'm like, well, I've been thinking of doing the lifetime membership, which we probably should. I got 7 unions. I mean, I should be a lifetime member. And they're like, hey, listen, why don't you wait till after Jan 1, because then
Phil gets credit.
And I'm like, you know what? I want to get him. I want to start him out good. And Phil has 1 lifetime member come. I mean, really, what it is you're just taking the stick, rattling money a lot of times, getting from people to support the Voyage. The Voyage gave some huge numbers this year out to some, especially the Down syndrome.
The Trade Winds, Down syndrome, and Boys and Girls Clubs. I think was it 150 and 20?
Yeah, like 170 grand total.
That's typical. Yeah.
Oh, they're telling us we're done. Hey, you got something to give me? What is it?
I do. I have some Swedish glug. It's not glag. That's a plumber term, but it's sweet. It's Swedish glug. It's port wine based. You get Reethel's portion as well because he's not here this year, so you get a big bottle.
Oh my
gosh! The pint you get
that other one you had, which was cream based, I think the white one. Remember that one? You did another one. Was this the same one?
No, this is it.
This is it.
It's port wine. It's got Everclear.
It's very
whiskey.
strong. I remember.
Be careful.
You gave me one, and then I'm like, hey, Alexis, nobody's coming over or anything. And I'm just going to have a little bit. And I just was done, man. It was over. But thank you. This is very coveted in the Calumet region right here. It's called glog, evidently.
Glug.
It's spelled glog.
No, that's the O with the 2 dots over it. It's ug.
Thank you, my friend. I enjoy reminiscing about some
Thanks
of the
for
things
having me.
and talking about the future.
Yeah.
So thank you for the glug.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. And if you'll just sit for a second. Hey, this is actually, I'm going to go into doing some podcasts next. So if you could just relax for a little bit, we're going to get set up. I'm going to do, I think, 3 podcasts in quick succession. And then are we doing a show tomorrow or not? No, right? No, we're not doing a show tomorrow. We're going to play.
No, sorry. I got to go to my other job and work Christmas Eve over there.
So typically we had done Christmas Eve, but Dabberton's like, dude, it's just nobody calls and it's just kind of low. I may come in and spin some music tomorrow, but that will do it for our morning shows as per se until after the holiday. Monday morning it will be Chuck Pullen. Friday, it will be Dabberton. And I'll be coming in and out with all those folks. Until next time, see you later.